Front squat. This is going over the 3 different variations you can do to perform this movement with a barbell. Now, the most basic, the elementary version, or not the elementary version, really the ideal way we do this is with a front rack position. The way we create a front rack position is we have our fingertips on the bar to start. We put our collarbone up here against the bar. I slowly drive my elbows up as high as I can, creating that nice shoulder shelf position. I then unrack the bar, and then from this position, I take 2 steps out, performing a squat all the way down to the bottom position. When I walk it back in, bar goes forward first, then down. If that front rack position does not feel good, or if there's some elbow or wrist pain, a couple things we can do to fix that is to get yourself in a position where you're not holding onto the bar with your hands. So the bar is actually back here in your fingertips. So you're really allowing more space for your shoulders and elbows to get high. The biggest issue people have with this position is they try to do a front rack down here with their elbows down, and they complain of wrist or elbow pain. I agree. This hurts my wrist and elbow too. But when your elbows come up here, and you allow the scaps to come up, allow your shoulders to do what they're supposed to, elbows can get into a flat position where they are parallel to the ground. Okay? That is the most ideal situation. However, that's not always an option for most people with their shoulder mobility. So another option we can do is to do it with a front rack where we cross our arms like so and have our hands on top of the bar like this. Same kind of starting position here. I'm going to have my elbows come up to the point where they're, again, parallel to the ground, and then my hands are going to go on top of the bar, and then I will unrack the bar, perform a set like so. This position absolutely requires you to make sure your elbows stay high, because if they drop down, the bar will drop down as well. Big point there. If you're not really a big fan of that variation, the third option, so the first option, front rack, second option, arms crossed. The third option is to get some straps. I have one already up there. Some wrist straps here. You will wrap them around the bar, and then you perform a front rack position with the straps. So right from here, my palms start forward. I wrap the hands around right here, and then I grab onto it, and I make sure I hold that same position, and then get into the same spot that I was with my other front rack, except this position is usually a lot easier on the wrists and the elbows for most people. Again, once I get out in this position, I perform a regular front squat. Whichever one works for you is what I want you to stick with. Doesn't matter which one it is, because they really all achieve the same thing, which is holding the weight on the anterior front side of the body so we can maximally target the anterior front side of the lower body. Make sure whatever position you're doing is comfortable for you. Make sure whatever it is you can do consistently, and the limiting factor is not just the actual hold. It might be maybe a little bit of abs or a little bit of quads.